Cheryl bobbing up and down. My next guest, you all know. She's a most talented actress. She's one of the stars of a big funny hit called Golden Girls, which is on Saturday nights at 9, thankfully, right here on NBC. Would you welcome Miss Betty White? Would you welcome, please, Miss Farrah? Would you welcome Dolly Parton? Dolly?
If you were alive when late night meant 3 channels and a good antenna, you remember that couch. The soft amber wash of studio lights, the rustle of the audience just before a guest broke into view. The band teased a few bright notes, and then the camera found Johnny's eyes. Cool, wry, always one beat ahead. The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, wasn't simply a program. It was a national ritual. People planned bedtime around it, set alarm clocks a little later for it, and learned the rhythms of American humor by listening to it. And some of the most indelible memories came from women who did more than promote a movie or a record. They brought a presence that changed the temperature of the room. They disarmed Johnny. They made the country lean forward. They told truths wrapped in laughter and elegance. Their appearances became markers of what television could feel like, of how fame moves, and of how a single moment on air can echo across decades. Tonight, we walk back through those doors. The band is warming up. Ed's smile is steady. The curtain waits. And America is ready for another first hello, one more final goodbye, and a handful of live wire surprises that no one could script. But that wasn't the full story.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's very nice to be back with us here.
Bette Midler. What happens when late night's sharpest wit meets a farewell so tender it quiets an entire generation? It's May of 1992. The country knows Johnny's last show is coming, but television, usually so loud and certain, suddenly feels fragile. Bette Midler takes the seat and instantly calibrates the room. A joke to loosen shoulders, a quick glint of mischief to reassure the faithful, and then that unmistakable voice. Smoky, forgiving, a little conspiratorial, like a favorite bartender with perfect timing. When she sings "One for My Baby" and "One More for the Road," she doesn't belt. She leans into the lyric. The band breathes with her. You can see people in the audience clutching their programs the way churchgoers hold hymnals during the last verse. Johnny looks down, then up, then down again. It's the rarest moment on American television. The host lets the silence do the talking. In those minutes, Bette gives the nation a new grammar for goodbye. Soft, honest, and brave. Bette's performance also clarified what late night could be when it wasn't sprinting for punchlines. It could be witness, it could be benediction, and it could send millions of people to bed with a shared, dignified ache, remembering how many nights they'd surfed into sleep with that desk lamp still glowing. What happened next reminded viewers that first hellos can carry the same magic as final bows. Dolly Parton.
Had a #1 song a while back called Jolene. Yes, Dolly Parton.
How does a single entrance turn a superstar into family? It's January 19th, 1977, her birthday, and Dolly Parton steps through the curtain as if she's stepping onto a front porch.
Welcome Dolly Parton. Dolly!
The wardrobe sparkles, but the effect isn't distant glamour. It's friendly fireworks. She has the rare talent of making a vast studio feel like a living room. The jokes aren't barbs, they're bridges. She chats about where she's from, about image and privacy, about music and work in a way that respects her audience's intelligence while inviting them to laugh at the same time.
Sit down and take a load off your feet.
There's a subtle power to Dolly's banter. She controls the spotlight without wrestling it. She answers the question honestly, then tags it with a twist that protects her boundaries and keeps the tone joyful. You can almost see Johnny recalibrating. This isn't an interview that needs rescuing. This is a duet. By the time the segment wraps, viewers don't feel like they met a famous person. They feel like they've adopted one. The next morning, in diners from Knoxville to Kenosha, people talked about Dolly on Carson The way families talk about birthdays and weddings. Light-hearted but affectionate, with the sense that something important just happened in their house. But loyalty and opportunity don't always sit on the same cushion. Joan Rivers.
Would you welcome Miss Joan Rivers?
What's the cost of becoming indispensable in a kingdom ruled by one king? Before she was a red carpet institution, Joan Rivers was the hurricane who roared through late night and left everyone standing, laughing, and a little windblown. She didn't beg for permission to be sharp. She arrived sharpened. Carson recognized it immediately. He gave her runway, then a frequent chair, then the chair behind the desk as guest host. The audience didn't just accept Joan. They anticipated her. She was the rare comic who could be cutting without being cruel, self-mocking without dimming her force. And then the tectonic plates of television shifted. Offers, contracts, schedules, things the audience never sees, came to dominate the story. A new show elsewhere. A phone that famously didn't ring. The relationship between mentor and breakout star fractured. It wasn't a scandal designed for tabloid headlines. It was a sober lesson in legacy. Late night breeds loyalty, but it also breeds competition. And not every friendship survives the politics of prime slots and network rivals. Joan's arc is one reason her every appearance still fascinates. In those clips, you can watch a talent taking shape in real time, claiming space in a genre that rarely seated it, and proving that once a voice finds its volume, the room will never sound the same again. Behind the curtain, the temperature dropped even further when a movie legend brought ballroom grace to a room built for punchline. Audrey Hepburn. Can elegance slow down television?
Would you welcome, please, Miss Audrey Hepburn?
When Audrey Hepburn sits with Johnny in the mid-70s, the pace changes as if someone dimmed the world by a single golden watt. The audience, who arrived to laugh, suddenly leans in to listen. Johnny, always composed, shows that tiny human flicker, admiration shading into nerves, the way even the most polished host can turn boyish in the presence of a childhood poster come to life. Audrey doesn't conquer with one-liners. She conquers by calm.
But I had so many other things to do, which I liked so much, I didn't really miss it. No.
Her voice is tender and precise, her sentences shaped like short melodies. She tells small stories with a generosity that includes everyone. She takes the distance between A-list glamour and at-home America and folds it like a handkerchief. For a few minutes, late night becomes a parlor, and the parlor becomes a memory palace. When the segment ends, the applause sounds different. Less rowdy, more grateful. The cameras cut, but the afterglow stays. Viewers who'd fallen in love with Audrey in theaters discover that the screen between her and the couch is permeable. Warmth crosses it as easily as light. And then came the women who built the house that TV still lives in.
Wedding anniversary. Would you welcome Miss Lucille Ball?
What happens when the architects of television visit the living room they helped design? Lucille Ball carries the weight of television history as lightly as a clutch purse. When she sits with Johnny, the audience doesn't just greet a legend. They greet the source code of American sitcom rhythm. Her timing is still surgical. Her expressions still detonate laughs that feel both nostalgic and fresh. Sometimes the show gifts a surprise. Desi Arnaz Jr. slipping on stage for a moment that collapses decades into a single smile, and you can feel every household in America nodding, "Yes, this is why we built a TV room." Then there's Betty
Would you
White.
welcome Miss Betty White?
The grand acrobat of tone. She knows precisely how to let a joke balance for a heartbeat and then flick it into a perfect landing. Betty didn't chase youth, she chased timing, and timing never wrinkles. On Carson's couch, she could be playful, a touch wicked, and always utterly in control of the room's oxygen. She bridged generations without speechifying about it. She performed the bridge. Together, Lucy and Betty demonstrate a truth newer shows sometimes forget. Comedy is not the opposite of gravitas. In the right hands, comedy is gravitas. Evidence of mastery, proof of legacy, and a living archive of how culture learns to laugh at itself without losing respect for what matters. But glamour had its own gravitational field. Sometimes the lens itself seemed to lean forward.
Exciting young lady, Anne Margaret. She is...
When the camera falls in love, can the audience feel it through glass? Anne Margaret doesn't enter a room. She reshapes it. The posture of the crowd lifts. Johnny's quips grow a half-step quicker. Even the band seems to sparkle. What makes her unforgettable isn't just beauty, it's charge. She's luminous and relaxed at the same time, a paradox the camera adores. When she laughs, it's not air leaving, it's voltage spreading. The conversation dances because Anne Margaret carries music inside her even when she isn't singing.
Difficult to find since there are only 3 of them. Would you welcome, please, Miss Farrah Fawcett?
Farrah Fawcett arrives as a phenomenon. Hair, smile, stardom, concentrated into a single, effortless glow.
I think I didn't give things a lot of thought. You know,
Wasn't that show originally
I'm glad
called
I didn't.
Wasn't that originally called Alley Cats?
Yet what keeps the clips replaying isn't the iconography, it's the gentleness underneath. Farrah lets the country see the person who lives beneath the poster. She listens carefully. She answers plainly. She brightens the room without elbowing it. That is star power at its rarest. Gravity without pressure. With Anne Margaret and Farrah, late night becomes a national barometer. You can measure where the country's attention is pointing by the way the applause sounds, a rising wave that doesn't crash so much as hums. But live television also flirts with chaos, and sometimes chaos flirts back.
They're giving me such a hard time that it made me a stronger person.
What's the difference between a perfect late-night bit and a legend born by accident? About half a second. Brooke Shields, young and fearless, decides to make her entrance with a pratfall, a slapstick wink to the audience and a playful nod to Johnny's Karnak antics. Only one problem. The room doesn't know it's a joke yet. She goes down. There's a beat of oxygenless quiet. Johnny reaches. A guest nearby steadies the moment. Then the laugh arrives. Late, relieved, and grateful. Years later, Brooke would recall how the surprise rattled the studio and how quickly everyone rallied to spin it toward charm.
Well, where'd you study acting? No, Shelley coaches acting, you know.
Yes, I know.
And she's a very good coach.
I know you from somewhere, otherwise I've seen you in some great movies.
Shelley Winters delivers a different kind of live-wire memory. Sharing the couch with Oliver Reed, she navigates comments that curdle from cheeky to cutting. The smile's thin. The air sharpens. And then Shelley stands, takes her glass, and throws. It's shocking, theatrical, and oddly clarifying. We are not watching canned banter. We are watching people. The cut to commercial feels like a breath the entire nation took at once. These moments endure not because they're messy, but because they reveal why live TV matters. Anything can happen, triumph, tumble, or both, and the nation learns in real time how a room of strangers becomes a community that catches its breath together. And when the lights finally faded on Carson's run, these visits didn't evaporate. They kept playing in American memory, like favorite records with a little vinyl crackle. Carson's couch wasn't furniture. It was a witness stand, a chapel, a comedy club, a confessional, whatever a guest needed it to be in order to make a memory that would outlive the night. These women didn't simply pass through late night, they shaped it. They stretched its possibilities, deepened its heart, and gave it stories that still feel fresh when you stumble upon them, years later in the neon glow of a recommended clip. That's why we keep watching. Not to repeat the past, but to feel again the instant when a nation paused, the band held its breath, and a guest, poised, dazzling, or wonderfully unpredictable, showed us what television can still be when it remembers who it's for. All of us, together, sharing one room for a few unforgettable minutes.
We're going to be right back.